สวัสดีครับผมอันนี้เรากำลังจะมาเล่นเกมแวมเพียร์นะครับผมแป๊บนึงนะครับครับผมตอนนี้ก็คือแต่งตัวที่จะเล่นเกมแวมเพียร์กันแล้วนะครับผมโอเคพร้อมแล้วครับผมขอไฟนะครับผมมีการขัดเรื่องเทคนิคนิดหน่อยโอเคลุยกันเลยนะครับคือถามว่าทำไมมันถึงอ่านว่าแวมเพียร์นะครับ PYR นะครับคือมันเป็นภาษาเดนิชนะครับตัว Y อ่านเป็นเสียงสระเอียนะครับผมโอเคอันนี้คือเราเพิ่งปรับบอสตัวแรกไปนะครับผม
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire?
ไอ้นี่มันคงไม่ใช่คนที่สร้างชั้นขึ้นมาก็คือสำหรับคนที่ไม่รู้เรื่องนะครับอันนี้ก็คือพระเอกเป็นแวมไพร์นะครับผมแล้วพระเอกเป็นหมอนะครับตอนนี้กำลังตามล่าคนที่เปลี่ยนเขาให้กลายเป็นแวมไพร์นะครับคือตอนนี้เป้าหมายของผมก็คือการพยายามจะไม่ดูดเลือดคนเลยนะครับ
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William
หน้า
was...
ไปโรงพยาบาลนะครับ
What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
เป็นนักล่าและเป็นทั้งเหยื่อนะครับวิลเลียมคนที่เพิ่งตายไปเมื่อกี้นี้นะครับคือโดนทำให้เป็นแวมไพร์เหมือนกัน
Don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Doctor.
มีทั้งสงครามแล้วก็มีทั้งโรคระบาดด้วยนะครับตอนนี้
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed.A surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct.
I knew it. I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war.I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word again, from a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
Well, Then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
Dr. Edgar
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
ชวนให้ไปอยู่นะครับเกลี้ยกล่อมชวนให้ไปด้วยกัน
Seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
สุดท้ายก็ไปอยู่กับดร. เอ็ดการ์ครับPembroke Hospital.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
โอเคครับผมตอนนี้เราดูเหมือนจะเป็นหมอแวมไพร์นะครับดูเท่ดีคือเรามาทำงานกับดร. เอ็ดการ์นะครับผมมีอะไรเกิดขึ้นอีกเฮ้ยโหเสียบเลย
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the seed of life. Drink at this river, dry it all.
เกิดอะไรขึ้น
Bastard gave me a good phone. Oh, come on, you bastard. I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
เสียเลือดไปเยอะ
God didn't notice. Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse.
มีอยู่2 อย่างนะครับ ฉันจะฆ่าแกปล่อยให้เลือดไหลไปแล้วก็สุภาพนะครับไหนๆผมจะเล่นเป็นคนดีแล้วลองดูหน่อยดีกว่าสุภาพไปก่อน
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I was...
แผลเลวร้ายมาก
Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
นี่ครับผมเกี่ยวกับคุณภาพของเลือดนะครับ คือมันจะคุณภาพของเลือดจะบ่งบอกถึง experience นะครับยิ่งคุณภาพดีถ้าเราดูดเลือดก็เราก็จะได้ experience มากขึ้นนะครับผมซึ่งเป็นสิ่งที่ผมพยายามจะหลีกเลี่ยงอยู่นะครับอันนี้คือมีคุณภาพเลือดอยู่แค่500 experience แปลว่าถ้าผมดูดก็คือดูดเลือดจากเขาก็จะได้แค่500ซึ่งไม่เอาครับไม่เอานะครับไม่เอาเพื่อที่จะดื่มเลือดนะครับผมเพื่อที่จะดื่มเลือดนะครับเราจะต้องพาไอเหยื่อของเรานะครับออกไปให้พ้นจากสายตาของคนอื่นนะครับแล้วก็ไอmesmerize เนี่ยเราจะต้องมีเลเวลที่ใกล้เคียงกันกับคนที่เราจะดูดเลือดด้วยอุ๊ยชิบหาย no
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
นี่ครับผมกำลังควบคุมเขาอยู่นะครับแต่ว่าไม่จะไม่ดูดเลือดเขาเป็นอันขาดนะครับ no โอ้ออกไม่ได้ด้วยครับเผลอกดไปเรียบร้อยแล้วชิบหายแล้วจะโหลดใหม่ดีไม่ว่าลองดูดีกว่าอย่างตอนนี้เราก็ทำอะไรไม่ได้อยู่แล้วนะครับเฮ้ยเอาจริงดิต้องดูจริงๆเหรอเนี่ยโอ้ no มันปลดได้ไหมเนี่ยเวลาเอางี้ดีกว่าครับผมขอเริ่มใหม่ดีกว่าผมอยากรู้นะครับว่ามันมีวิธีอื่นหรือเปล่านอกเหนือจากการที่จะต้องดูดเลือดขอลองใหม่ดีกว่าถือเป็นการทดลองนะครับโอเคเอาละลองไปดูดีกว่าเอือกปุยโดนเสียบ3 รอบ
Rotten old pristine, each heart contains the seed of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
อย่าบอกนะว่ามันบังคับโอเคครับมันบังคับครับเอาจริงดินี่ผมต้องฆ่า ผมต้องดูดเลือดจริงๆเหรอเนี่ยนี่คือระบบมันบังคับโอเคมาซบเอ้ยนี่ผมตั้งใจจะไม่ดูดเลือดคนนะครับเนี่ยระบบมันบังคับไปเรียบร้อยแล้วครับแคนเซิลไม่ได้ด้วยอ่ะนี่พยายามจะแคนเซิลอยู่นะครับโอ้ยแคนเซิลไม่ได้วะงั้นลองไปหาหมออีกทีหนึ่งครับผมเผื่อจะมีวิธีครับแต่ดูเหมือนว่าระบบเกมจะบังคับให้เราดูดเลือดคนครับเพื่อที่จะสอนระบบเกมเรานะครับเพราะว่าแย่จังจบเพครับต้องตามมันลูกเดียวเลยครับคือให้เราตามพาเหยื่อไปที่มุมมืดครับมุมมืดชึบอ๋อนี่ครับมีปล่อยได้ด้วยนะครับผมปล่อย
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
เย้โถ่เอ้ยเพิ่งรู้วิธีนะครับอ๋อมันมีแบบว่าเราพาอ๋อ
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
ไม่มีนักล่าคนไหนแบบจะหนีสัญชาตญาณตัวเองไปได้นานนักหรอกพูดง่ายๆคือยังไงสักวันหนึ่งก็ต้องฝืนใจดูดเลือดหรือเปล่าโอเคครับผมอย่างนี้ค่อยยังชั่วหน่อยหมอหายคือผมชอบสำรวจนะครับเราลองสำรวจดูว่าน่าจะมีอะไรบ้างที่นี่คือที่ไหนอะไรยังไงสำรวจไปเรื่อยๆดีกว่านะครับคือฟันถังแตกนะครับแต่ไม่มีอะไรเกิดขึ้นสถานที่นี้เฮลตี้ครับแสดงว่านั่นไงนั่นคือศัตรูนะครับเราก็เห็นศัตรูด้วยลองดูดีกว่าอ้าวเฮ้ยมันไล่ล่าเราครับเราต้องลองหนีดูครับผมลองหนีดูดีกว่าโอ้ยตามมาไหมเอ่ยบอกแล้วนะครับมันจะไม่ฆ่าคนนะครับพยายามจะไม่ฆ่าคนครับเพราะว่าต่อให้ขี้ขลาดก็ต้องเอาครับดูมองว่าขี้ขลาดก็ต้องเอาครับโอเคไม่มีอะไร เกมก็ค่อนข้างจะ Open World ระดับหนึ่งนะ คือไม่ใช่ Open World ฮะมันต้องเรียกว่า Semi Open World ครับก็คือกึ่งจะ Open World นิดนึงพวกศัตรูหายไปละแต่ก็ยังเก็บอะไรนึกว่าจะเก็บอะไรได้นะครับไม่มีโอ้มาแล้วหนีครับหนีไม่สู้ครับไม่สู้เราไม่สู้ครับเราไม่สู้แล้วศัตรูก็ไม่ตามมาด้วยนะครับอันนี้คือข้อเสียอย่างหนึ่งของเกมในความรู้สึกของผมนะครับก็คือ AI ศัตรูไม่ได้ฉลาดมากนะครับอันนี้เป็นโรงพยาบาลนะครับถ้าดูท่าทางอนาถาเหลือเกินมีเต็นท์ขโมยครับเราขโมยครับเกมนี้ไม่มีระบบมอรัลไม่มีระบบศีลธรรมในการขโมยนะครับขโมยต่อหน้าต่อตาก็ไม่เป็นไรนะครับรู้สึกผิดหวังนิดหน่อยไปตามเนื้อเรื่องครับผม
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
ออฟฟิศเราอยู่ชั้นที่2
I would like to ask a few questions first. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
เราเพิ่งพบเขาเพิ่งพบเขา
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Okay.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
ไม่มีอะไรมากลองดูครับนี่ก็คือเราก็จะเห็นอันนี้คือเรายังไม่ได้คุยเราก็เลยยังไม่รู้บอทคุณภาพหรือเปล่าโอเคงั้นลองคุยดูครับ
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting
เคยเจอกับพระเอก
Professor
มาก่อน
Carell
นะ
in
ครับ
his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
ชีวิตในลอนดอนเป็นไงบ้างอ๋อนี่มันมีต้องปลดล็อกด้วยนะครับคือเราจะต้องหาเงื่อนงำให้เจอนะครับ เราจะปลดล็อกคำพูดได้ด้วยโอเค
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
เคยทำงานในที่ที่ดีกว่าอันนี้ประมาณว่าผู้คนสำคัญกว่าที่ไหนๆก็เหมือนกันนั่นแหละแล้วก็มีตัวเลือกไม่มากนักโอเค
I can't say I'm thrilled to be working here, but to be honest, I didn't have much of a choice.
ไม่มีตัวเลือกมากนักไม่มีทางเลือกมากนัก
Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
ไม่ได้ขาดเขาเรียกไงไม่ได้ขาดพรสวรรค์แต่ขาดแบบความหวังนะครับ
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her
นี่ครับ
skills.
ขึ้นมาแล้ว
I'll
นะ
go
ครับ
even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
ขึ้นเงื่อนงำมาแล้วนะครับผมน่าจะช่วยปลดล็อกอะไรเวลาคุยกับ
Any
ใคร
opinion
ได้
about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office down again.
โอเคลองกลับไปดูนะครับนี่มีการปลดล็อกอะไรยังนะครับอาจจะต้องไปคุยกับคนอื่นนะครับถึงจะมีการปลดล็อกนะครับอันนี้ก็เหมือนกันครับต้อง
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets.
ต้องรวบรวมข้อมูลก่อนนะครับถึงจะปลดล็อกได้นะครับCorcoran is convinced that Gwynethต่อไปเราต้องไปลองคุยกับคนนี้ดูนะครับผมเราไปไหนกันล่ะไอ้นางพยาบาลที่คุยด้วยเมื่อกี้นี้ขโมยครับขโมยเกมนี้นะครับไม่ได้มีจุดเด่นที่การต่อสู้นะครับคือระบบคอมแบทนี่เฉยๆมากนะครับแต่จุดเด่นมันคือเรื่องของ NPC นะครับ
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
ศัตรูที่มองไม่เห็นใครเอ่ย
invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
เป็นแค่คำเปรียบเปรยนะครับศัตรูที่มองไม่เห็น
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
อ๋อฆาตกรที่มองไม่เห็นก็คือโรคระบาดนี่นะครับ
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippets. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
ดร.ทิพเพชรแบบมุ่งมั่นเกินไปหน่อยครับไม่ยอมหลับไม่ยอมนอน
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
ตอนนี้ไม่มีอะไรเป็นพิเศษนะครับไม่มีจุดให้ปลดล็อกเหมือนมีครับนี่ไงครับผมบอกว่าไอ้ที่เราไปคุยกับดร.ทิพเพชรตอนแรกนะครับตอนนี้เราปลดล็อกเงื่อนงำได้อันหนึ่งแล้วนะครับ
Why does Dr. Tippets claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippets does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
โอเคครับที่เหลือก็คือต้องลองเงื่อนงำครับมีอะไรเพิ่มไหมไม่มีอะไรเพิ่มไหมเอ่ยไม่มีนะครับผมงั้น
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
ถ้าอย่างนั้นผมก็ต้องลองกลับไปคุยกับดร.ทิพเพชรดูนะครับผมอาจจะมีคำพูดอะไรเพิ่มเติมนะครับซึ่งนำไปสู่อะไรผมก็ไม่รู้นะ
Good evening, Dr. Tippets.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
อันตรงนี้ยังไม่มีครับนี่ไงครับผมตอนแรกตรงนี้ไม่มีให้ปลดล็อกนะครับตรงนี้มีแล้วนะครับดูท่าทางจะเหนื่อยล้า
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos.
คือทุ่มเทมากเกินไปหน่อยดูอ่อนล้านะครับงั้นคือเป้าหมายจริงๆเป้าหมายของเกมนี้คือประมาณว่าเราพยายามจะให้ NPC นะครับสามารถมีเขาเรียกว่าคุณภาพชีวิตที่ดีครับแล้วเราก็สามารถดูดเลือดที่มีคุณภาพดีจาก NPC ได้นะครับนี่คือรู้สึกจะเป็นเป้าหมายนะครับผม
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
You're exhausting yourself.
No, we must.
Nurse Brannigan, you don't have to blame her.
พอเราเลือกไปแล้วครั้งหนึ่งนะครับเราจะย้อนกลับมาเลือกใหม่ไม่ได้ครับพลาดแล้วพลาดเลยนะครับ
Goodbye, Dr. Tippets.
We must prove prove what we are capable of. It is now.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
ลองดูครับว่าจะมีอะไรเพิ่มเติมหรือเปล่านะครับไม่มีครับไม่มีครับผมช่วยไม่ได้ครับ
Goodbye, Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
นี่ครับเลือดตั้ง 3,000 เนี่ยมีใครเอ่ยเพิ่งเห็น
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction,
เป็น
Mr.
คนขับ
Hooks.
รถ
You can
พ
call me
ยาบาลนะ
Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
อ๋อนี่ครับผมรู้สึกจะขายของไอตัวนี้ขายของนะครับลองเข้าไปดูดี
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
นี่ครับผมมีของขายมีช็อตกันครับเท่ดีมีบูลเลตครับมีลูกกระสุนตอนนี้เรามีอยู่45ชิลลิงนะครับช็อตกันเชลอันนี้โอ้โห315ชิลลิงเดียวนะครับอันนี้รู้สึกจะ1ชิลลิงนะครับผมคือซื้อได้เป็นตันเลยครับเยี่ยมเยี่ยมเยี่ยมอ๋อก็คืออันนี้ก็คือสำหรับที่จับสำหรับไออาวุธมือนะครับอันนี้เป็นชิ้นส่วนนะครับผมชิ้นส่วนอันนี้เป็นอลูมิเนียมผงอลูมิเนียมง่ายๆคือสินค้าน่าจะเป็นของสำหรับคราฟต์นะครับน่าสนใจดีแล้วถ้าเกิดว่าซื้อแล้วจะเกิดอะไรขึ้นตอนนี้เรามีแค่45ชิลลิงนะครับผมอันนี้ราคา32ชิลลิงอ๋อนี่คือขายได้นะครับผมเอาพวกนี้มาขายได้อ๋อโอเคอย่าพึ่งดีกว่านี่ครับต้องผสมของได้นะครับแล้วก็จะอัปเกรดอาวุธได้นะครับผมตอนนี้เลเวล1นะครับถ้าจะเลเวล2ต้องมีอันนี้นะครับผมรู้สึกว่าเราจะอัปเกรดได้แล้วมั้งใช่จริงๆด้วยนะครับผมตอนนี้อัปเกรดอาวุธได้แล้วนะครับงั้นอาวุธปืนล่ะอัปเกรดได้แล้วหรือยังอาวุธปืนก็อัปเกรดได้แล้วนะครับตอนนี้อ้อยังขาดชิ้นส่วนนะครับผมก็จะทำให้น่าจะยิงได้แรงขึ้นหรือเปล่าน่าสนดีอันนี้ต้องการถึง3ชิ้นส่วนเลยนะครับแล้วก็เมื่อกี้นี้รู้สึกจะ32ชิลลิงเลยนะครับถือว่าโหดครับเพราะฉะนั้นผมคิดว่าอัปเกรดอันนี้ก่อนดีกว่าอัปเกรดแล้วจะโจมตีได้แรงขึ้นนะครับ แล้วทำยังไงล่ะจะอัปเกรดยังไงล่ะอ๋อก็ยังขาดอยู่ดีนะครับผมอ๋อมันจะมีอย่างนี้ครับถึงจะอัปเกรดเลเวลไม่ได้แต่ว่าก็คือแบบติดเขาเรียกไงอะติดสถานะอะไรสักอย่างหนึ่งเกี่ยวกับอาวุธได้นะครับอันนี้คือเพิ่มความแรงขึ้นนิดนึงถ้ามีน็อตถ้ามีสกรู5 อันครับไม่มีครับ
Perhaps I should have considered the offer from that Cadogan fellow.
อันนี้ก็น่าจะเพิ่มได้นะครับเพิ่มความแรงนะครับฟันแรงขึ้นนะครับอันนี้คือติดได้แค่อย่างใดอย่างหนึ่งครับอันนี้คือเพิ่มการโจมตีให้แรงขึ้น 10% นะครับนี่คือถ้าฟันเราจะดูดเลือดเพิ่มขึ้นนะครับลองดูดีไหมเอ่ยลองดูอันนี้ดีกว่านะครับแล้วเราจะอัปเกรดยังไงนะเนี่ยอ๋อมันต้องอัปเกรดเลเวล2ก่อนนะครับแล้วก็ถึงจะเลือกตรงนี้ได้ครับพูดง่ายคือจบเพย์ครับตอนนี้ไม่พอนะครับโอเคเข้าใจระบบแล้วครับผม
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
วันก็ยิ่งจะแย่ลง
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself.
มีพวกแก๊งพยายามจะขโมยตังค์
to civilians.
ก็เลยต้อง
Keep people alive
ขโม
your
ยอา
own
วุธ
way,
เป็นของ
Doctor.
ตัวเอง
I offer them another way to protect their health.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since too long, I guess. I'll bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done most of the time.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped from the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
พอคุยกับบางทีเราคุยกับ NPC ปุ๊บมันก็จะมีสถานที่ที่จะให้เราไปสำรวจด้วย Citizen Investigation พูดง่ายคือเป็นไซเควสนะฮะง่ายเป็นไซเควสโอเคเข้าไปที่สวนด้านหลังใช่ไหมเอ่ย อ๋อเราไปสำรวจดูได้นะครับผมงั้นลองไปสำรวจดูดีกว่า
Goodbye, Milton.
Another night with the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
อันนี้คือตั้งใจว่าจะลองไปสำรวจตามคำบอกเล่าของมิลตันนะครับคือที่ด้านหลังน่าจะเป็นที่นี่นะครับผม
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
เข้าโหมดวิเชอร์ครับ คือโหมดแวมไพร์เหมือนวิเชอร์นะครับขึ้นได้ไหมเอ่ยขึ้นไม่ได้นะครับกระโดดขึ้นไม่ได้คือบางทีเพกจะมีแบบความสามารถในการแบบวาร์ปขึ้นไปนะครับแต่อันนี้ไม่มีนะครับตรงจุดนี้วาร์ปขึ้นไปไม่ได้นะครับน่าจะมาจากตรงนี้ไม่ใช่โอ้อันนี้น่าจะที่เขาพูดถึงนะครับผมเฮ้อว้าวโอ้ยตายเลยคือถ้าดูดเลือดคนผมก็จะเติม HP นะครับแต่บังเอิญผมปฏิเสธที่จะดูดเองนี่ครับมาโผล่ตรงใกล้ๆไม่มีทางเลือกอื่นนอกจากจะต้องสู้นะครับไอ้นี่ไม่ใช่ศัตรูธรรมดานะครับโอ้ยมันดูดเลือดเราโอ้ยนี่ไงนี่ครับดูดเลือดมันบ้างแต่ว่า HP ไม่ขึ้นนะครับโอ้ยดูดเลือดเราจะลองแพรี่ดูนะครับไม่มีอะไรคือจะลองแพรี่กลับดูนะครับผมจะลองกะจังหวะในการต่อสู้ดูพูดง่ายๆคือแบบว่าเราดูดเลือดศัตรูพวกนี้ไม่ได้นะครับคือดูดเลือดแต่ก็ไม่ได้ทำให้ HP เพิ่มขึ้นนะครับรู้สึกจะเป็นอย่างนั้นลองดูใหม่อีกรอบหนึ่งนะครับรู้สึกเหมือนจะฟื้นขึ้นมาได้เรื่อย นี่ครับคือที่ดูดนี่คือดูดเพื่อเอาพลังเฉยๆครับไม่มีอะไรเป็นพิเศษโอ้โอ้โอ้เฮ้ยทำไมมันมีเพิ่มโอ้มันลุมเราแล้วครับชิบหายนะครับโอ้โหโอ้โหโดนอีกแล้วโอ้ยตายแล้วนี่นะครับโอ้ยตายอันนี้ใช้เลือดตัวเองรักษานะครับโอ้ยตายไปหนึ่งตายไปสองนี่ต้องยอมดูนะเพื่อเอาพลังของมันกลับคืนมานี่เรียบร้อยก็จริงๆก็ได้ experience นะครับผมแต่ได้น้อยกว่าการดูดเลือดมนุษย์นะครับก็ make sense อยู่ไม่มีอะไรนะครับโหมีอะไรสักอย่างหนึ่งตกอยู่นะครับอ๋อนี่ภาพของมิลตันนะครับผมก็คือภารกิจก็คือเอากระเป๋าตังค์กลับคืนมิลตันครับนี่คือภารกิจหลักนะครับแต่ว่าผมจะสำรวจต่อนะครับอยากรู้ว่ามันมีอะไรต่อมีลูกกระสุนครับผมอุ๊ยตัวเวนกดผิดกดผิดครับผมจะเลือกอาวุธนะครับจะลองเลือกอาวุธดูนะครับลองเปลี่ยนดูดีกว่านะครับเปลี่ยนเป็นปืนนะฮะครับผมลองเปลี่ยนดูดีกว่าอ้าวเวนโอเคมันยิงอย่างนี้นี่เองนะครับผมถือเป็นการลองระบบดูนะฮะ เป็นไงมีเหยื่อมาให้ลองแล้วเดี๋ยวนะมันล็อกเป้ายังไงล่ะเนี่ยนี่แหละยิงนะครับดีครับโอ้ยดีครับCome on AI ศัตรูง่าวมากครับไม่ค่อยฉลาดเท่าไหร่ครับ AI ศัตรูนะครับไม่ค่อยฉลาดเท่าไหร่เอาละคิดว่าพอแล้วกลับไปหามิวตันดีกว่าอาโช
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Yeah, แน่นอน
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway, to remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
ได้40 ชิลลิงนะครับผม
Goodbye, Milton.
น่าจะพอมาซื้อของสำหรับอัปเกรดได้หรือเปล่าโอเคขอดูหน่อยนะครับผมมิวตันกับนางพยาบาลฮอว์กินนะครับเป็นคู่กันโอเคเรายังไม่ได้เจอนะครับหรือเปล่าเจอแล้ว
Good evening, Doctor.
Dr. Reed.
มีอะไรเพิ่มเติมไหมยังไม่มีนะครับ ดูข้างหลังครับ เป็นเรื่องปกติของเกมแล้วมั้งจะมีช่วงที่ AI งี่เง่าอย่างเงี้ย
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
โอเค
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
แน่นอน
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
เดี๋ยวตอนนี้เรามี85ชิลลิงแต่ว่าเพื่อที่จะอัปเกรดสมมติอัปเกรดปืนนะครับต้องเสียอันนี้ประมาณซื้อประมาณ3อันนะครับตอนนี้เรายังไม่มีตังค์มากขนาดนั้นนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นก็ลาก่อนยังไม่น่าจะจำเป็นนะครับประเทศชาติต้องการคุณหรือเปล่า
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
บอกว่าตัวเองเป็นแวมไพร์นะครับท่าทางจะ crazy นะครับเป็นคนบ้าหรือเปล่าไม่รู้
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
ไหนลองอธิบายความรู้สึกมาหน่อยสิ
Describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
เป็นแวมไพร์นี่มันเป็นยังไงลองบอกมาหน่อย
Body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
ต้องการเลือด
I see. Have you ever heard of Katar Syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Katar. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
อ๋อมีการสืบสวนโผล่ขึ้นมาอีกแล้วก็คือเทลมาก็คือน่าจะเป็นโรคคอทัสซินโดรมนะครับเชื่อคือหลอนว่าตัวเองเป็นแวมไพร์น่าจะประมาณนั้น
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
ดูจะเพ้อเจ้อดีครับ
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
ดูเพ้อเจ้อดีนะครับผม อย่าบอกนะครับว่าเราคุยได้ทุกคนถ้าทางเราจะคุยกันได้ทุกคนเลยนะครับเนี่ย
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
Pippa, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes, Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins. But are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
คือมีความสัมพันธ์กับมิลตันแต่เป็นแบบลับๆนะครับคือบอกว่าที่นี่แหกกฎอยู่ตลอดเวลา
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, Nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Okay.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
เราต้องกลับไปคุยกับมิลตันนะครับผมเพื่อจะได้เงื่อนงำอะไรเพิ่มเติมนะครับเดี๋ยวค่อยกลับมาเราไปหามิลตันดูก่อนนะครับผมคืออย่างที่บอกนะครับเกมนี้นะครับจุดเด่นของเกมนี้ก็คือตัวละคร NPC นะครับคือระบบการต่อสู้ไม่ค่อยเท่าไหร่อาจจะน่าหงุดหงิดในบางครั้งนะฮะแต่ว่าถ้าในแง่ของแบบความละเอียดของ NPC นะครับก็ถือว่าโอเคนะครับ
It's safe.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives.
นี่ครับผมมีมาเพิ่มเติมละ
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
ครับผมก็มันแหกกฎกันอยู่แล้วนะฮะนี่ครับมีมาเพิ่มเติมอีกอันหนึ่งแล้วนะครับ
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Okay ครับมันไม่มีอะไรมากไปกว่านี้แล้วนะครับ
Goodbye, Milton.
ลองคุยดูอีกทีนะครับเพื่อมันจะปลดล็อกอะไรสักอย่าง
Dr. Reed
โอเคยังไม่มี
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
How close are you to Miss Hallcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of my blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Katar Syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
So many deaths. And what of my own life?
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke. Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest, and then I can go back to the people who need me.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
How long is it going to take to fix me properly? A month?
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories and first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
You always knew the words to calm the children.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
I will not let you down.
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True, true. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears, not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
My sweet girl.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Ackroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so guilty about it?
My wife died because of me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick, unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself, but I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army, building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then. The only good thing about this is my Helen didn't bring them with her that night.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate. Sweet girl. Reads me like a book. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
I really hope you're right about this, Dr. Ackroyd. I'm trusting your judgment on this.
I'm not the kind of man who runs away from his responsibilities, Dr. Reed. There is no need for you to be looking over my shoulder.
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
This is ridiculous. My blood transfusion technique saved many lives, and you know it.
You see? That is exactly what I hate about people like you. You avoid this kind of accusation instead of facing reality.
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland. Good evening, Mr.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye for now, Mr.
I will not let you down, my boy. Will this shift never end?
I'm quite busy.
Thank you for your...
Still more coming. How can we be sure?
You are going to reveal all your secrets to me.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realised I could make a fortune.
Goodbye, Milton.
I wish I could be sick again.
How long must I wait, damn it? Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir. How long's it going to take to fix me properly? A month? A year?
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here, then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest, then.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes. Thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Doctor.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book. I'm so tired. I never could keep anything. This shift will never end.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Milton cheats patients out of their money at this hospital, Pippa. Are you his accomplice?
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition of being useful? By abusing the sick and poor?
No. It is my definition of getting out of this useless life once and for all.
Why do you do it?
Why not? Most of the sick who paid for a bed are already dead, or will be soon. Don't you see the futility of all this?
How can you be affected by the misery around you, and be so heartless at the same time? Which is the real you, Nurse Hawkins?
I could ask you the same question, Dr. Reed. Are you more real when you lie to a dying patient, or when you grant him useless medication?
Whose idea was it?
What difference does it make? We did it together, and I'm guilty as charged.
Answer my question.
It was my idea first, even though Milton would say it was his, to protect me.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know that.
Have you no shame?
Don't you see this city is crumbling down? Today, people are ready to pay to get a hospital bed. Tomorrow, we may be fighting for food.
Goodbye, Milton. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
You used to be a doctor. Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
It's locked, all right. It's locked.
I'm sorry you ended up by playing a cold medical bench.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Goodbye, Milton.
What happened? Did I black out?
sorry you ended up on a plain and cold medical bench. I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation. I managed to arrange to have you buried in the same mass grave as your mother. Good evening, Dr. Reed. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidam.
It never ceases to amaze me how you...
It's locked. Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are...
I need blood.
I'll leave you. Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Reconstructive surgery has been very successful for some soldiers.
I don't want to wear a bloody mask for the rest of my life. I'd rather stay here and just be forgotten.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Why do you...
I wasn't...
Why life.
Come on.
Reconstructed.
I don't want to wear...
Goodbye for now.
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
I cannot enter.
Of my own life.
You disgust on every streetcar. Daily routine.
Good evening.
I need blood.
I'll leave you, Mistress. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Nurse. This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now. The flower's dying. It needs water.
Not now! If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
Dr. Swansea asked me to collect you, Dr. Reed. Hurry up!
เอาละครับผมเกมนี้ค่อนข้างจะพูดเยอะนะครับต้องใช้สมาธิในการอ่านนิดนึงนะครับผมแต่ตอนนี้ก็คือขอจบเพียงเท่านี้ก่อนนะครับผมแล้วเดี๋ยวเจอกันใหม่คราวหน้านะครับผมบ๊ายบาย